Yeah. So for this event, if you guys can see the slide, yeah. So the presentation would be mainly across the group company Tata Communications, what it is all about, growth of IoT and key trends. Most people would know about it, but just key highlights on that subject. Tata Communications IoT journey. It's an interesting one, which with a lot of key learnings, and it's a startup by itself. Then we also jumped into the Make in India ecosystem development program and how we have matured this particular very critical aspect of the IoT business. Then a few focused solutions which we have been successfully launched in the market with scale. It's not concept, it's scale. And that's the most important factor as to how we scaled it. And last but not the least is the partnership offer which Tata Communications can extend to the ecosystem of partners here or the startup ecosystem. So that's the few pointers on which I will be speaking on. So I don't know how many people know, but it's a proud moment to realize that Tata Communication is is one of the largest players in the telecom space globally when it comes to submarine cable ownership, in terms of international voice carrier, in terms of enterprise data in India. So these are things which are very powerful numbers. We have 53 billion minutes of total international voice traffic which goes over our network. We have approximately 20% of the market internet traffic going through our network. We have around 31 country present. So it's interestingly an MNC, an Indian MNC, which is across got global footprints. 3,200 petabytes of data delivered every month. These are large numbers, just to give you the view of what this company is all about. And it's got 120 cities in India connected on fiber network itself. Now, having said that, this is a traditional telco model where it's a carrier business, and Tata Communication, as many of the telcos today, are all looking at innovative new age technologies and other new dimension areas of growth, and that's where we also took a plunge, and I'll come to that later. Just to give you a few stats, these are numbers, and there are multiple numbers. But by 2020, which is this year, 4 billion connected people, 4 trillion revenue of opportunity, 50 trillion GB of data. So these are big numbers. And the key question is, how will the networks reinvent itself to provide trillions of data flow with security, reliability, and agility required in the hyper-connected world? Now, this is a key aspect of the quality of services. Another factor which we are seeing today, and to just reflect back, I started the first exposure of IoT happened to me in 2010. Yes, 2010, 2011, when I was leading the Tata Teleservices location-based services. And at that time, there was a lot of discussion about the 50 billion devices connected world and the IoT-based solutions. But it was, I personally feel over the experience of the last 10 years, we are at the phase of an inflection point in the IoT story, where there was a lot of promise, but there were other interesting, key challenges in the marketplace, which did not enable this great idea to come into the volume of projections which the analysts kept talking about. I think that with the telecom networks maturity, the data connectivity across the country, a ubiquitous network deployment, and the mobile-based technologies and the smartphones proliferation in the marketplace, the IoT concept has become a reality today, and it's an inflection point where a lot of explosive growth on this particular very critical factor of the digitization will happen. And in India itself, we are expected, and I've just taken some numbers, 15 billion investments in India in the tech and services in the IoT space in 2021. That's a huge number. 2 billion connected devices in India by 2021. And obviously the smart city initiative of Modi government has a huge investment of 35 billion across 2015 to 2021. And a lot of IoT based solutions, a lot of smart city solutions have been launched, are being launched and being delivered today as we speak. This has been one of the great drivers globally as well as locally to incubate a lot of innovation in this domain of IoT and smart city solutions. Then I'll go to the next slide as to what I personally believe are the top 10 key trends in the IoT 2020. And there are some technology trends, some industry trends, and some general trends. And the biggest one is the COVID. So in the sense, security as such is something which is highly important and will be seen as the most critical factor of investment. A large amount of focus will be given to security as an area of investment, as it's to be seen that I was reading somewhere 100 million security attacks happened in the IoT network last year, and going forward, global trends, and going forward it will only going to increase. Imagine a situation where a utility or a large smart city deployment is hacked and you have the whole system collapsing or in ransom. So these are important points, and then there is a very interesting area of discussion of blockchain, which can be utilized more effectively to enhance the security. So these are interesting trends, and a lot of action will happen on this particular segment. A lot of ideas, innovations, and solutions are going to be spoken about in the market. Software as a service, not a new jargon, but as cloud computing matures and is scaling big time today, this concept has been adopted in the market and accepted by the enterprises. It's a win-win situation for both the service provider as well as the consumer, because for the consumer, it reduces the capex investments. For the service provider, it enhances the capability of giving more complex solutions and scaling it up. Edge computing, another important technology trend which is gathering momentum today as we speak. The compute capability of these sensor devices are enabling IoT solutions to and giving and increasing the compute capacity and delivering those data at the local level and the edge. So that reduces the consumption of bandwidth, as well as they comply to the regulatory to a large extent. Data analytics, the last but not the least, it's the most important one. All this IoT solutions generate sensor data, and data is the new oil. And that's the place where a lot of work is being built: artificial intelligence, machine learning, you name it, robotics. So all these things are driven through this analytic platform. So there's a lot of growth in the analytic platforms, and data science will be seen as a new trend and is being seen today. You have industry trends, you have smart cities, a large number of smart city solutions, smart city projects are being launched. This has been a key driver. Industrial IoT is another segment which we are talking about today. Manufacturing is one of them, manufacturing 4.0, industrial 4.0, and these are subjects which are often talked about, but are seeing a large amount of investments. A considerable amount of the pie of the investment of the IoT is now being channeled toward this particular segment. We also see smart homes, voice assistant solutions by Android and Apple and the likes of them, and the other lighting solutions are making smart home more smarter in nature, and a lot of focus there. And healthcare, as we mentioned, one of the subjects for innovation channel today is healthcare, which is one of the critical aspects, and is something which we are seeing as adopting this IoT technology more and more as this industry matures. And then you have the environmental and the global connectivity. Environmental is when you see the global warming, and a lot of work can be done on this particular domain. A lot of work through IoT-based solutions can enable governments to help save the planet. And global connectivity is a requirement, which is something which every communication provider wants to have a global connectivity and footprint. COVID, to a large extent, has been a catalyst. I personally believe a lot of people understand the value of real-time monitoring, real-time data, and trying to remotely manage operations. It's something which a lot of people have sat back and realized. It's broken the inertia of a lot of IT managers, and a lot of budgets and a lot of other a lot of ideas which were not evaluated are now being evaluated. And we see that personally with a lot of leads coming from a lot of enterprises. So I think this has it's a blessing in disguise for the industry to get mature, to start selling IoT solutions to the industry at large. The journey of Tata Communication, we went through a bit of a innovation challenge, and there were some pointers on which we chose a particular technology. Now, we believe that 70% of the devices in the world and the M2M space needed very low kbps data. So we talk about 5G, 4G, 3G. But in general, we realize that what we need is very few kilobytes of data, which would enable a lot of IoT M2M solutions. And that 70% of the market size of the 50 billion connected devices would be based on LPWAN, low power wide area network solutions. It should also have a price advantage, because commercial viability of the IoT solutions is also as important as solving the problem. And with the price sensitive market like India, this becomes a very important factor to look at. And battery life, it was another very important thing, which actually enables a lot of opens up a lot of market segments, market use cases which could not be addressed because of poor network connectivity, poor infrastructure of power to enable those sensors to continuously send data. So this is something which was being required for a lot of IoT solutions, which were in the concept stage, but could not come into a reality because of no proper business case. So there was this concept of low power long range LoRaWAN networks, which were being sold and produced in the European Union area and was incubated in France. And this is called LoRaWAN. So basically, this is something which most people may be aware of in the audience, but to just take a minute, it is a technology which is which was created ideally to address the key needs of range, low cost of network deployment, low power consumption, hence larger battery life, and cost. So these are the reasons. Latency, good latency. So these are the reasons why, top 5 reasons why LoRaWAN became one of the technologies which grew in this particular domain, and has been adopted as has been touted as one of the fastest growing technology in the adoption of IoT solutions in the world. And we are a part of the LoRa Alliance, which is now more than has more than 500 members. This is the dated slide. We've got more than 500 members across the globe, and a lot of operators are now adopting LoRaWAN technology. It's something which has had the promise and has proven that it is a technology which is fitted for a large segment of use cases in the market. Keeping those facts in mind, Tata Communication actually in 2014 laid a bet on LoRaWAN technologies and invested and identified LoRa as one of the viable solutions which they would invest in. And at that time in 2015, there was hardly any player in the market here. So, we started deploying the LoRaWAN network in Mumbai, which starts in 2016. And over the years, we realized that the first thing which is required is the network. If you have the highway, then you'll have the traffic in the highway. So we started building the network. Being a large organization, we had the muscle power and a business plan for 5 years, and we started investing in building those networks through which we could start building the ecosystem. Because if you have the network, then you have players in the markets who could start producing and creating solutions on the LoRaWAN based solutions. We also launched the Center of Excellence in Mumbai during that time, and had a strategic partnership with Semtech, the creators of LoRa technology. And with the partnership of Semtech and the Center of Excellence, we started driving the ecosystem development program. And so you see the deployment grew over to more than 5 cities in 2017, and the later part of, and by October, we had actually covered a large portion of the country with our network. So once having the network in place, we started launching the partner enablement program. And as we speak, in 2020, we are actually one of the largest players in the LoRaWAN technology in the lighting industry globally, as well as the safety and smart and productivity for workers. These are two very, very prominent verticals which we've grown, and I think we are one of those large players, at least in India, if not global, to reckon with as large-scale deployment, and I'll go deeper into it in later slides. So 140 million and counting is the number of people we are influencing with our LoRaWAN technology today and the network presence. And then we have this architecture of a network. So what I would say is this is a standard network, but the only USP which Tata Communication did was that since we had the network, and then we also invested in the platform. We also invested in the application, and then we also had we also control the device. Now, if you look at most of the IoT players in the market has one piece of the whole solution, but not the complete stack of the IoT. And so that is one of the key reasons and uniquely poised company we are, in which we actually control the whole end-to-end solution, the whole end-to-end solution of the IoT, which we go and sell in the marketplace. So that has its pros and cons, but we have realized that that has given us immense and tremendous value in front of the end customer. What we did is, while we initially thought that the market would create the devices for us, we realized quickly that it was something which we had to do a lot of market development activities. So we started launching programs. So we first standardized our network. We started coming out with end node specification to standardize the quality of service. We have a specification of device specification, which we give to our startup ecosystem partners or device partners or manufacturers who actually design and develop products for us. So we had opened up a certification lab inside Tata Communication, which could certify and enable the ecosystem partners, educate them on LoRaWAN, as well as certified them on our network. So we actually identified design houses who could build devices for us. We incubated a program around these things, and also looked at embedded design and RF design partners, which could strategically drive the cost down and enable the ecosystem of partners from the design and development side. We also, for the first time, went into manufacturing, and with the Make in India program, we actually designed and developed and then manufactured these units in India. And then we also created a support system for the product lifecycle management. So this was something which we definitely went around doing workshops across the country to develop this whole design house and ecosystem of partners who would partner with us and create innovations which could take us to the next level and prove to the market about the solutions which we talked about and solve enterprise problems, smart city problems, and actually bring value to the overall context. So this is what, over the period of 3 years from 2017 to 2019, we actually took Jamshedpur as a city of experiment, and actually launched our own LoRaWAN network there, and all these devices which you see, a smart bin, a smart parking solution, smart street lights, smart environmental monitoring solution, smart sewer monitoring, connected worker solutions, all these solutions, smart energy utilities, temperature and humidity, most of them have been built for us or have been built by us. And these are all IPs which we hold, and we have actually created these use cases and have actually deployed most of these use cases across the country, and specifically in the context of a smart city solution in the city of Jamshedpur. So this is what we built to address the solutions in the market, and then stitched across other aspects of applications, commissioning, launching, and selling all these things through our channels, as well as through our enterprise sales force, as well as dedicated sales team in our company. So this is, I'll just dive deeper into a few things of our success story, just to make people understand that scale is possible. The lighting industry, if you see, is going through a lot of RFPs today, and a lot of energy saving initiatives by the government of India is being driven. And the first stage was of replacing the existing lights with LEDs, and that itself gave a natural saving. And then there was automation of these LEDs, which were required to monitor and manage the operational efficiencies and other data points which could come out through the IoT solutions. The market is poised for 23 million by 2023, whereas you have the key trends and the key challenges in the market was that if you just have a simple on-off feature in the controllers, it can save up to 15% of the energies. There is a lot of theft in the market which happens. And that it's around 20%, 28% of the annual electric power is stolen. And and that's a loss to the government and the exchequer of the country. And 1% of the annual street power is consumed by daytime lighting burning. So a lot of lights which are burning in the daytime also are not been switched off because of human interventions. And these are things which sums up to a large number of cost. And LED lights have been stolen. So 0.1%, 1.5% of LEDs are stolen every year. Now, what we did was we launched we designed this solution on LoRaWAN, and it's an individual light controller, which is NEMA, non-NEMA, dimming, and non-dimming. That's 4 variants of it, and we have successfully deployed across 10 cities, and we are the largest players in the world today, I would say, in terms of the streetlight solutions. With such large-scale deployments, I haven't personally seen or heard any other operator driving such large-scale deployments, and with the complexity of the Indian environment and infrastructure, this is fairly a robust product. And now in the 3rd year of its conception, it is now a product which has matured and is being and is leading the industry today, and have got multiple features. It also does smart off, so remote switching of off and on of lights. Then it's easily deployable, and it does a lot of metering solutions in this particular solution. So we have all this, and the solution which you build in the street lights and growing. The second is that of and the most interesting one is that of the employees health and safety as well as productivity solution. You see 2 things. One is the watch, a watch safety watch which we launched, and the other is a badge ID. These are solutions which were built and designed for a manufacturing plant and there was a lot of deaths which are happening because of workers working in hazardous areas. So actually 75,000 live workers today are being tracked with our solutions, and it's absolutely working fine. And there are cases and there are case studies where we have actually saved people because of proactive monitoring of their health. Because one is the badge ID actually gives you tracks the worker, finds out where it is. There are SOS buttons where, in hazardous situations, where they can press the SOS alert, and the trigger is sent in the system. So these are application features out of the data which is being sent across from the location, as well as the watch, which actually monitors the heart rate, the BP, as well as the fault detection. So these are things which actually are suited for the environment of manufacturing, especially in the steel industry. So that's something which we have built and delivered today, and it's, I think, one of the largest workforce deployment in LoRaWAN based solutions in the world today. Again, built and delivered and developed in India and manufactured in India. So the last one is that of utilities. And this is again another important vertical which is a sweet spot of LoRaWAN, especially in the water and gas segment, where traditionally there have been limitations in terms of network. And the battery life of LoRaWAN comes into the case here, wherein it's a sweet spot where once deployed, 10 years of battery life can be assumed or expected out of the smart metering solutions. And this is, if you definitely, it's not a real-time monitor, and you don't need a real-time monitoring of the readings. It's once or twice a month. If you read and ping the network, then the battery life is definitely 10 years plus. And this enables automation of water distribution, automation of metering of these water meters, and it also enables operational efficiency, productivity, as well as collection goes up. A lot of bills can start being collected because of real-time monitoring and billing systems which become more authentic and credible. So we've also built out on gas as another option, where we have a solution, and these are all large-scale deployments. I would say large-scale when I say what I mean is 10,000 metering electricity meters have been smartened. We have around more than 5,000 plus water metering solutions and 5,000 plus gas meters deployed in the market today. So and growing. So there is a lot of opportunity in this domain. So this is what we did. We built it. We designed it. We went to the market and solved those problems. Actually, solved real problems. And then sometimes there are some problems which are commercial. Where when you solve, there has to be a commercial viability to it. There has to be more in terms of productivity, cost saving, and safety and security, keeping in mind the industries which you are addressing. So this has helped us to scale. It definitely helped us to scale because we had a large control over the complete solution. We also are looking out continuously for innovations. We are ready. We qualify our partners if there are. We also run our own innovation challenges. We look at startups who could provide who wants to scale up and reach out to large. The idea to scale is something I think Tata Communication can bring to the table. If there is a use case, if there is a business case, and if there is a unique innovation which you bring to the table, Tata will definitely look into partnering with you in terms of both if you have a particular piece of the solution or the idea, then we can stitch the whole solution with our ecosystem of partners, giving you access to the device development program and other the platform, the analytics which we are building on our own, and can co-create solutions together and take it to the market. We have, as being an enterprise customer and a large telco, we have a large access to most of the enterprises in the country, great relationship with them, and definitely, cross bundling and promoting solutions to these accounts and ideas can always be an easy way to sell. We are open to, giving our network as an access for any innovations and POCs to be done. These are things which we run as a program post qualification of the idea and the concept. So that's where we are today, poised well, very, very gung-ho about our LoRaWAN based solutions, as well as looking forward to innovations in areas which are non-LoRa also. And we have certainly realized that we have not all can not one technology can fit all solutions. So there are areas where we are looking at now broadening our vision from just the LoRaWAN to an integrated solution, a hybrid solution of LoRa, non-LoRaWAN solutions, which can solve the real life problems of the market, the industry, and the customers. So that's where I would stop here and say a thank you to everybody for patiently listening to me. I may have hurried because I thought I have 20 minutes. I don't know how much I took, but if you guys want to reach out to me, this is my email ID, and I'll be more than willing to connect and take things forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to showcase, to present some of the important aspects of the manufacturing innovation challenge. I would like to start with what is the objective and what are the use cases briefly, and what are the steps and what are the modalities of the innovation challenge. Then for the use case briefing, I would invite Ankit to throw some more light on the use cases. I will start with the program breakdown.